I am excited to introduce my friend Darren, also a Seattle local like myself. Darren is from Trimble, and Darren and I met a few years ago. And from our very first conversation, it was clear that a partnership between Trimble and Unearth had a massive opportunity to benefit our industry partners. So with that, I am very excited, humbled, proud to be presenting here at the Converge Summit sponsored by Trimble. Introduce Darren and let him say a few words about Trimble, the Unearth partnership, and what everyone's been waiting for, raffle off the Trimble R2 device. Off to you, Darren.
Great. Thank you, Amy, for that introduction. And I just want to confirm that everyone can hear me and see my slides. Yes, all right. Well, thanks all for being here today and yesterday. This has been really a fantastic virtual summit. We've all probably been to a few of these over the last 9-10 months, and I have to say that I usually judge a conference by how much I learn, and I have learned a great deal during these past 2 mornings. So congratulations to the Unearth team and all the content you provided and all the other panelists. It was really enlightening, and I think with this partnership, we're going to be able to solve a lot of the problems and issues that some of the panelists have brought up and other customers of ours have experienced over the years. So if we could fire up my slide deck, do I have control of that? Let me see. Don't think I do. So let's go to my first slide, please, and the next one. So as Brian said in his keynote, we at Trimble and those and the folks at Unearth really have some overlapping in our core mission and our core values. We're very closely aligned. Trimble's motto is transforming the way the world works. And we do that by connecting the physical earth with the digital world. Now, many of you may know Trimble by the yellow handhelds that you've seen out in the field, or maybe you've seen surveyors doing boundary surveys, parcel surveys, pipeline surveys with backpack equipment or on a 2-meter range pole. And that's where most people know Trimble, but I briefly wanted to let you know more about what Trimble provides and how we are transforming the way the world works. We have solutions for architects that help plan, survey, operate, and maintain buildings. We have a civil engineering and construction division. Those are the big machine control device tractors that you see along highways that are all controlled by Trimble GNSS. We have a connected utilities and public administration group, transportation solutions that help companies deliver packages efficiently. We have rail solutions, mining solutions. So all of these technologies are enabled by much of the advancement that we've talked about over the last 2 days. Things like 3G and 4G and 5G, things like cloud processing. We've been able to take these technologies and combine them to provide solutions for a variety of different industries. On the next slide, I mentioned this is the Trimble division that I come from. This is the geospatial division, and this is really where Trimble got its start. The traditional survey and mapping solutions that our customers and those who are aware of Trimble are more familiar with. Products like GNSS receivers, total stations, laser scanning, mobile mapping, and LiDAR systems. And this is where Trimble got its start over 40 years ago. I've been with Trimble now for over 11 years, and I've seen this industry really grow. And what we're trying to do is provide tools that empower our customers to create data correctly the first time without costly trips back to the field, and data that you can rely on and data that you can trust. In the next slide, I talk about I want to talk about where I see Trimble and Unearth collaborating. Trimble provides tools that allow you to collect authoritative data, whether that's with a simple GNSS device or a more complicated and very powerful mobile mapping device that has LiDAR scanners and cameras. Unearth can help you manage that data, manage that asset lifecycle, assign tasks to the field worker. Another place where I see we can have some collaboration, at the start, we're working on GNSS, but Trimble has a lot of technology that I think can really benefit the Unearth customer. Things like IoT, which Amy mentioned in her presentation. Then the next step is to take that information and to bring that back out into the field with a number of different types of devices that we have. And on the next slide, I did want to mention some of the devices that you may or may not be familiar with. These are devices that Trimble engineers have created. We build these devices. Some of these are purpose-built for a particular industry, but others are more generic and allow you to take a rugged device out into the field without worrying about any kind of drops or damages or water immersion or anything like that you may come across in your day-to-day life. These handhelds and tablets come in different form factors for various types of users and run a variety of different operating systems. The next slide shows some of the GNSS receivers that Unearth is supporting in their latest release of their software. We have devices like the R1 that are a sub-meter, a low-cost sub-meter option, all the way up to the R12, which is a survey grade tool that is on the more expensive side, but provides sub-centimeter accuracy for many of our surveying applications. Now, one of the things that I'm really excited to share with you all today is a product that's really revolutionizing and going to revolutionize how we collect accurate spatial data in the field. And as Brian and others have mentioned throughout these last two mornings, technology has really ramped up. And the next slide I like to look at because, one, it ages me, and two, it really provides kind of a roadmap of where we've been and how much technology we now can pack into a single device in our pocket. Now, some of you may not know what a Radio Shack is, and like I said, I'm probably dating myself. Others, if you're geeks like me, technology geeks like me, we just spend time in Radio Shack and look at the computers and all the different technology that they have. The amazing thing about this one-page ad is all of the technology on here, and I think if you add it up, it's about $3,500, is now in our pocket. And all of these technologies advancements have enabled us at Trimble to come out with a product that we call Trimble Catalyst. And Trimble Catalyst is really a revolutionary GNSS solution. What Catalyst has enabled is a low-cost receiver solution that you pay for as you need it. One of the comments earlier today, I believe it was from Duke Energy, I think it was Russ, he said they don't use GNSS with their cross-bore projects because it's clunky and large and unwieldy in the field, and they have all kinds of other equipment that they need to worry about. And that is a very true statement. I've talked to many customers where that is the case. They're like, we can't, one, afford a GNSS receiver, and two, it's just too big. And with Catalyst, we have taken the complexity of high accuracy GNSS out of the user and encapsulated it in software. So the next slide talks a little bit about what the Catalyst platform is. It's an inexpensive antenna. We still need an external antenna because the antennas in your devices, your phones, are just not capable of delivering the type of accuracy that our customers require. And then you have your own off-the-shelf device, and as Amy said in her previous session, the off-the-shelf consumer devices is where our customers want to go. They have they deliver these to their employees already. Many of us are familiar with iOS and Android operating systems, so why not enable those systems with the right software and the right hardware to be able to deliver accuracies that we require for our day-to-day jobs. Catalyst has been, well, the catalyst to other solutions that previous presentations have alluded to, things like augmented reality. Trimble has taken the Catalyst antenna and created a handheld device called Sight Vision. Now, Sight Vision is an outdoor augmented reality solution. Imagine being able to show your customers future projects before they're built and how they're going to impact things like their view lines and what it's going to look like next to an existing building. Imagine your field workers on the next slide being able to view underground utilities without digging a hole. This is only possible by having accurate spatial data to begin with. And that's what Trimble, partnering with Unearth, can provide to you and your customers. So Catalyst really removes the barriers of the traditional GPS receivers. And many of you know in your jobs, in operations, you have a core function of that job, and it's not to necessarily take a highly accurate position. It could be a part of your job. And with the Trimble Catalyst solution, we can enable you to create those highly accurate positions for a fraction of the cost of traditional GNSS receivers. One of my last slides here, I just want to mention, as Unearth is now part of the Trimble Geospatial Partner Program, not all of this really applies to the attendees here, but our distribution network is what I wanted to point out, the third pillar there. Our distribution network across the US is how we sell our products. We sell through this distribution network. They are experts in GPS, laser scanning, pipeline locators. They provide training, support, and service. And so as part of this partner program, Unearth and Unearth customers now have access to our extensive distribution network. So with that, I think we want to move on to what most people were wanting to hear from me for. Just to give you a little background, the R2 is a survey-capable GNSS receiver from Trimble. We have various scalable GNSS accuracies from sub-meter all the way down to sub-centimeter. So it's a very capable GNSS receiver, and we're excited to give one away to, I don't know if you're going to have a drum roll, but to Brian Schultz, Senior Pipeline Integrity Manager, Program Manager at Avista Utilities. So congratulations to Brian Schultz. And I want to again thank the Unearth crew for this fantastic summit. Well done on your very first virtual summit. I think you guys hit it out of the park, and we are very excited to partner with Unearth and looking forward to more collaboration. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Darren, big thank you. Thank you to Trimble. Thank you for making time, and thank you for the R2 receiver. All the best people are named Brian, so I'm not at all surprised that Brian won the R2 receiver, and I'm sure it's going to get great use out in the field very soon. And as we kind of move into my closing here, I want to thank all of you for attending the first ever Converge Summit. Your presence and participation have just made this a huge success, and we're deeply appreciative. And when I kicked off the Converge Summit during my keynote, I promised we would try and inspire you to take a fresh perspective on the forces shaping your industry. And I genuinely hope that many of you are coming away excited about the benefits that digital technology and digital process are going to have in your businesses. And we've covered a lot. over the last 2 days, from where the utility industry started to the challenges that it's facing today to a future just really influenced by digital process and digital technology. And if we're being honest, 2020 was a pretty reactive year for many of us. We were sort of rapidly responding to the realities of remote work and probably identifying some pretty major gaps in all of our workflows and really our deployments around technology and technology solutions. And it's for that reason that I want to encourage everyone to think of 2021 in much more proactive terms. Let's meet our challenges head on. So let's treat 2021 as the year of digital transformation. And we're not the only ones saying this. 2 days ago, the CEO of Microsoft was on an earnings call, and he was talking about the second global wave of digital transformation, that there had been a first wave and where opportunity had arisen in certain industries, digital transformation already occurred, but that really the rest of the world and all sectors were catching up. And if you're kind of reading between the lines, what he's saying is there's not going to be a third wave. And I think that brings me to all the themes that we've been sharing. It should be really clear now than ever before that the way we work is not a two-way door. And whether we choose to be ready or not, we've already kind of stepped to the other side. And I loved Darren's sort of graphic of the old Radio Shack technology. I'm a tech geek myself, and so I love that kind of stuff. But let's just take the example of telephones. We've been talking a lot about mobile devices. If you go all the way back to that being a new invention, there was a device in your home, you picked it up, and there was an operator waiting on the line, and they physically connected 2 wires so that you could talk over geography. And that changed the world. And that got innovated on to the point where the physical wires remained, but you were in control of who you reached out to and talked to. And that was status quo for a long time, but there was still a lot of information that was missing in that moment. And it was only later that the next innovation came where your telephone told you who was calling, as opposed to just ringing there on the wall. And now, the only phone I have is in my pocket, and it answers itself and takes care of all the calls and screens them on my behalf. And in each stage of those innovations, the world moves forward. And whether you choose to take part or not, the truth is we're all stepping ahead. And so it's important to think about your impact and the lessons you take back into your organizations. The choices you and your colleagues make today are going to be amplified into the years to come. You can choose to do nothing, but in our opinion, the challenges you face today are only going to become more difficult, and quite frankly, at some point will be insurmountable. But if you choose to move forward and meet these challenges head on, the benefits grow and amplify over time. And if you take nothing else home, please remember this. Digital transformation is a process, one that's going to continue empowering work for decades into the future. And as I said in my opening, success takes a village. So the process starts with commitment, and it's commitment for all of us to this new change. But that commitment doesn't put you on rails, far from it. Rather, it invites you to start to explore your options. And only then can you start to adapt solutions into your organizations as quickly and as deftly as possible. And to that end, I encourage you all to continue learning and attending events just like this. Rest assured, Unearth will continue to host events into the future, including more this year. In fact, we'll be sending out a post-event survey. So if there are certain topics or there are certain events that you'd like to see, please let us know so that we can provide those to the community. And with that, I want to close our Converge Summit and thank you all for your participation. Have a great day.